ready to play championship Class C football.
Perfect season in school history. 13 wins, no losses, and no ties. 12 times since Mahnomen began fielding teams in the 1920s. It all started with a 7-0 year back in 1928. Now Ken Bauman's crew coming in undefeated and untied, 13-0-0. The last undefeated season, untied season, was 1980 when the Indians won the Class B title.
We've seen Ken Bauman frequently during the state basketball tournament, a long-time official of that event. He looks a little more nervous now than he does before the jump ball.
He's got a little bit on the line now.
Officiating crew is from Wyndham. Jack Kelly, the referee, Tom Cowan, Dean Jacks, and Dan Hossing.
You may have seen the word tribe. The Mahnomen Indians have the word tribe on their sleeves.
There's a look at the referees.
A hardy bunch to work this Class C championship game at the Metrodome. The Mahnomen Indians kicking off for the Waterville Elysian Buccaneers. And we're set to go. Mark Callbaugh doing the kicking for Mahnomen. It sails deep and will be hauled in by Chad Atherton at the 20-yard line. 25-30. Got a good lead block coming through by Ruska. And across the 40 to the 43-yard line on a nice return as Waterville Elysian goes to work coming up on midfield.
Chad Atherton had a lot of room there. It wasn't that he broke a lot of tackles initially, but he got some good blocking and was able to find an alley. You see a look at the kick. Fairly good kick down inside the 15-yard line. Atherton on the return right gets up from about 25 yards of real estate before someone lays a hand on him.
Chris Gross with a quick pitch to Toston Taylor, a very speedy runner who crosses the line at the 45, and the safety Jason Oakland, number 11, hauled him down.
We'll be calling Jason Oakland's number frequently. He's also the quarterback on offense for Mahnomen.
Let's take a look at the Waterville Elysian offense as it lines up here in this title game. Tom Little and Troy Larson work the left sides of the line with Matt Gross. John Riley is the center. Morris Herring and Corey Nide on the right side, who had a great game the other day. The running backs there, Taylor, Sorensen, Celebrate, and Chris Gross. Lofting this one out to Corey Nide at the 50-yard line and incomplete. Dean Burdick, number 25, was there for pass coverage. They were double covering with Travis Costi, number 44, as we line up the Mahnomen Indians defense. They'll use a couple of linebackers, 2 corners, and 2 safeties. And there you see with the 5-man line anchored by Keith Kirsch, who is the nose guard. Spaeth, Coleman, McDougal, and Snetzinger complete the line. Bjorgi and Bogley, are the linebackers. Now throwing on 3rd down and 7, way long and overthrown for Corey Nide as Chris Gross really aired it out, and Dean Burdick, number 25, was right there again with Corey Nide, number 83, who had his best game of the year against Minnesota in the playoff finals. 9 catches, 191 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
And no doubt Mahnomen saw that game and know of Corey Nide's proficiency in the pass catching department. They're all over him. Dean Burdick, it'll be interesting to see if he's the chosen defender against Nide all day. He was all over him on both of those 2 plays, and I mean with good coverage, not excessive coverage.
Jeremy Oakland, number 15, had to let it bounce, and it took a big Waterville Elysian bounce as Mahnomen takes over. They will be deep in their own territory with 10:46 left in the first quarter. Your Toyota dealer and the 1990 Toyota Camry V6. Toyota brings more power to the family car. Toyota, I love what you do for me. 10:46 left in the first quarter. It's the Class C title game at the Metrodome. And for the first time today, the Mahnomen Indians will go to work offensively as Ken Bauman's crew will take over 1st and 10 deep in its own territory at its own 7-yard line. Number 11, Jason Oakland, is the quarterback. And he lines up straight across and penalty markers before anything even happened. Come on, guys! And an offside before they even got the play started. Well, that's an easy way to get out of your own territory. Won't be quite so deeply in as it turned out.
This will be a crucial drive, and I suppose that's a little bit trite this early in the ball game, but Mahnomen wants to establish that ball control. They're a very much run-oriented team. They think they need to keep Waterville Elysian's high-powered offense off the field as much as possible, so they're going to try to grind it out. And the 1st and 5 makes that a much easier task.
Jeremy Oakland in motion right as the play goes right up through the middle, and Troy Larson Larson, the defensive left tackle for Waterville Elysian, sniffed that out and stopped it as it got off the mark. There might have been a gain of 1.5 yards to 2. And that will be about it. They'll move it at the 12, though there was no gain at all.
Unbeaten Mahnomen against once beaten Waterville Elysian, but they avenged that loss to Medford. They lost to Medford 20-13. The 4th game of the season, came back to beat Medford in the playoffs 42-12. So that's quite a turnaround.
2nd and 10, slot to the right, the hand on the give, turning Jason Miller, and met right at the line of scrimmage by the swarming Waterville Elysian defense, led by the left cornerback Corey Nide, number 83.
The two defenses dominating so far. Waterville Elysian tried to go to their bread and butter on their first series. 2 passes to Nide that failed. Now Mahnomen with that hard charging running game, a little counter play here that is snuffed out and stopped by the Elysian defense.
Now it is 3rd and 10. There was no loss on the play. Right at the 10-yard line. Oakland sets him down. Motion left Jason Miller. They'll go to the counter as Jeremy Oakland will carry and cross the 15 to the 16. And again, it's Corey Nide, the cornerback, who stopped the play.
Nothing fancy again. Nobody split wide on 3rd and 10. Of course, part of that is field position. But Mahnomen not wanting to risk a low percentage play, which for them is a pass. They do not throw that much. And now they're going to kick on 4th and a couple.
So back to punt is Bob Bjorgi, number 40. One man back, Corey Nide, signals for a fair catch, dropped the ball, and then dived on it at the 48-yard line. So Nide, and I would think it would be tough when you've never played in this building to try and haul down a big high hanging punt and keep your eye on the ball. Breaking the action, we'll be right back to the Metrodome.
For the holidays, remember, nothing's easier to wrap than a
Doug McLeod. J.G. Preston is down on the sidelines. Barry Williams will be back later on as well. Justin Celebrate in the slot to the left. Quarterback Chris Gross, number 19. He hands to his fullback Sorensen. Smacks over the 45 and down to about the 43-yard line. Bob Bjorgi, among others, was in there to make the stop, along with Ed Snetzinger, the defensive end.
Waterville Elysian. It sounds so pretty.
It does.
Both of them for the nicest name, and then they throw in that Buccaneers. That's a little more of a hard football-oriented name, but they're a good ball club. And you watch Nide, he's always split wide. They try to give him some room to make his plays. The short side of the field this time.
Slot to the right. They charged with student body over right tackle, and Ed Snetzinger brought the play to a halt. But still, they muscled their way in for a couple of yards with the fullback Matt Sorensen leading the way. He led the team in carries this year with 212 for 1,330 net yards and 10 touchdowns.
Interesting sidelight to that play was the contact between the quarterback Chris Gross and Keith Kirsch of Mahnomen, who came through and hit him after he had handed the ball off on that option.
Power eye to the up man, Tostin Taylor, across the 40 to the 39-yard line. And again, these little quick smashes. Keith Kirsch, the nose guard, helped bring that one to a stop, as did the linebacker Mark Bogley. Down to the sidelines now, and here's J.G. Preston.
Well, Doug, you may have noticed on the Waterville Elysian helmets here, there's this triangle made up of red dots. This signifies that Waterville Elysian is a drug-free school. This stemmed from National Drug Education Week this week. The coaches gave the players the option to put this on. They all chose to do it.
And very, very good for those young men. 7:03 to go in a scoreless first quarter. Chris Gross, 1st and 10 at the 36-yard line of Mahnomen. They tried the draw. And what a smack in the middle. Bob Bjorgi. And
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say football is a contact sport.
Bert Leslie, number 50, in there, too.
That was a big hit right on the ball. It comes loose very cleanly in there before the man is down and recovered by Mahnomen and Bert Leslie.
Wow. So Bert Leslie, number 50, the guy who did the job, and now it's 1st and 10 at their own 33 for the Mahnomen Indians.
They get better field position this time, out over the 30.
The back straight across behind the senior signal caller, Jason Oakland. Now in motion right, Jeremy Oakland. Fake to the first man through. Hand to the up back, Jason Miller, as he cut over right tackle to the 34-yard line. And Matt Sorensen, the left inside linebacker, brought him down as we line up the Mahnomen Indians offense for you. Dean Burdick, 12 interceptions, 214 yards on the left side. Newman, Snetzinger, and Bogley in the middle. Jaeger, Holmvik, and Howard Spaeth, who has a couple of touchdowns to his credit. The running backs behind Jason Oakland are Miller Bjorgi and Jeremy Oakland, who will split. Jason Oakland, 5'11", 175 senior quarterback. Passed for 462 yards, ran for 470 in the regular season. Fake motion, hand again to a fake it was as Oakland swings around the right side at the 40 to the 49-yard line, and Corey Knight in hot pursuit along with Chad Atherton, the strong safety. Then a great little stutter fake by Jason Oakland.
And you see some of the ball control moves by Oakland. They set up the Waterville team with some of that deception early, giving the ball in short and drawing the defense, and then pulling it back out, running wide. Jason Oakland gets big yardage.
13-0, the Mahnomen Indians quarterback Jason Oakland gets a big first down at the 48-yard line, still in his own territory. Again, Bjorgi, Miller, and Jeremy Oakland, the back straight back behind him. They'll get motion out of there, double tight end set. First and 10 at the 48-yard line. Motion right for Jeremy Oakland. The play goes left, and just to the 50, across to the 47-yard line before Russ Morshing threw a paw and nailed Bob Bjorgi, the fullback.
Again, a little bit of a counter, fake to one side, goal the other way. Waterville Elysian has stopped the first ball carrier, and they continue to do that. Unfortunately for them now, the first man through doesn't have the ball.
The four-man line is backed up by 2 linebackers, 2 corners, and 2 safeties. There's the defensive backfield for the Waterville Elysian Buccaneers. Across midfield now at the Waterville Elysian 47. It's second down and 5 for Mahnomen. Miller moving. Draw up the middle of Jeremy Oakland. He popped right to the line of scrimmage, and how'd he do? He met number 65, Troy Larson, with 73 tackles and a fumble recovery to his credit. Troy Larson stopped the play for Waterville Elysian, and there's no gain.
35-man rosters in Class C, up from the 27 that we see in 9-man. And these two schools both had to trim rosters to get to the Prep Bowl. They were both Class B schools last year, and now have moved to Class C and have taken it all the way to the Prep Bowl.
It is 3rd and 5 now at the Waterville Elysian 37-yard line. Again, they go right through the middle for the fullback, and again, it doesn't get anywhere as Matt Sorensen, the left inside linebacker, put the stop on the play, and Bjorgi, the fullback, just bashing into the line, got a few inches on it.
Probably looking to deceive Waterville Elysian a little bit, thinking they'd be looking for something wide with 6 yards to go for the first. Tried it up inside, but the Buccaneers have been very tough in there so far.
Bob Bjorgi will punt. He has 20 punts and a 34-yard average. Austin Taylor back in single safety to receive. Watches the ball bounce into his arms at his own 8-yard line. Sees a wall of yellow and white and is pushed out of bounds at the 9. And that is where Waterville Elysian will go to work as he was finally shoved out by the cornerback, Corey Knight. With 3:51 left in the first quarter, there's a timeout on the field. There's no score in our Class C championship game.
No score with 3:51 to go in the first quarter. Mahnomen and Waterville Elysian. I'd like to welcome KTHI and Fargo for the telecast of the Class C championship. Of course, they're neighbors of Mahnomen, about 80 miles to the west of Mahnomen.
Glad to have you with us over there in that part of the world. 39-yard punt it was by Bob Bjorgi, so 5 yards longer than his average. Now Waterville Elysian will go to work first and 10 at its own 15-yard line. Chris Gross sparks the signals. They go right back to Matt Sorensen, the fullback, up the middle, across the 20, and Mark Bogley, the linebacker, brought him down about the 21-yard line.
Waterville Elysian has not gone back to the air since the first 2 attempts to throw it Knights way, which were both well covered by Dean Burdick. And they tried to maybe set up the pass somehow, running it straight ahead, which they also do very well.
They outscored their playoff opponents 189 points to 54 leading into this. Slot to the right is Selbury. They pitch to the left side, and it's Austin Taylor. There, good pursuit, almost nailed it. At the 20, Taylor might have got back to the line of scrimmage, but I think they'll lose a yard on the play. Great pursuit back there on Austin Taylor. Mark Bogley finally stopped the play.
Neither team is exceptionally large. They both rely on quickness. Waterville Elysian's been able to run outside well throughout the season, but they may be matched in quickness here by Mahnomen. They're out there way ahead of the play. 2 players are, and then 3 more in pursuit to bring down the ball carrier, Taylor.
Tom Little taxiing in for Brett Christensen on that left end to bring in a play. Now Waterville Elysian will throw Corey Knight wide to the right, tight end left. slot to the right is Selbrade. 2nd and 3 at the 22. Up the middle to Toston Taylor again, and he muscles across to the 25-yard line, running into most of the Mahnomen defensive line. Led in there by number 71, Charles Coleman, as you have a look at him.
Just got the first down.
Just got it.
Tough running by Toston Taylor, which is a great football name, by the way.
That's a great name. Toston Taylor.
Interesting to know the origin of that name. A little unusual. Maybe he's a family name or something.
We have no score.
5'11", 170 pounds. Number 23.
To 21, clock running, time remaining in the first quarter. It is now 1st and 10 for Waterville Elysian's Buccaneers on their own 25-yard line. Selblade split out wide to the right, deuce backfield, slot left. Fumble, and Mahnomen got it. The fumble was on the snap, and I think it was the linebacker Mark Bogley who got a paw in there on it, and Mahnomen gets it back in great field position inside the Waterville Elysian 25.
There must have been a mix-up on the snap count there, because it did not look like Gross was expecting the snap. Although maybe he was. He jerked back like he was expecting to receive the ball, but it just hit his hands and dropped straight back down. Mahnomen is on the recovery, and now they have moved that field position game well to their advantage. They started deep in their own end and brought it out over the 30 now. Deep in Waterville Elysian territory.
Jason Miller tripped up as he came to the line of scrimmage by the right tackle Brent Herring. 61 tackles on the year coming in. Now he has 62, as you see, number 74. He also has a fumble recovery. Brent Herring, the right tackle, at 6'1", 192, senior defensive lineman. Loss of a yard on the play makes it 2nd down and 11 for Mahnomen on the Waterville Elysian 25. There's no score late in the first quarter. Class C title game. In the double tight end set, Oakland motion left, penalty marker in the backfield. Jason Oakland to throw. High, lazy spinner, and it is caught at the 6-yard line on a great little catch.
Dean Burdick made the reception, but it's going to come back because they had 2 men in motion at the same time, which of course you cannot do. It looked like Burdick was in motion at the same time that Jeremy Oakland was. So a mix-up there is going to cost him a big play.
Jeremy Oakland was one of the full house backs who cut to his left at the time. Then Burdick jumped off. So on the illegal motion, it goes back to the 30-yard line. With a minute 10 to go in the first quarter. No score in the game. 2nd and 11 at the 30. I'm sorry, 2nd and a bunch more than that at the 30. Fake. Oakland play action. He'll keep it and be nailed at the 22-yard line. Jeremy Oakland finally run out of bounds by the safety Chad Atherton, number 22. Got a nice little gain on the play with inside a minute left.
Nice play by Atherton. Here you get an athlete with Oakland's quickness to the outside and look like he might be able to turn it upfield to make a big play out of it, but Atherton comes up and makes a nice low tackle, taking his middle away, and that doesn't leave you anywhere to go but down to the mat.
Now 24 seconds left in the first quarter. It's 3rd and 8 at the 22 for Mahnomen. Almost extra motion there. Fake, play action high, and overthrown for Howard Spaeth, who was there in single coverage with Chad Atherton as they tried to lay it right behind the seam.
Well, there was definite contact before the ball got there. Ken Bauman wants the penalty. Here's the throw by Oakland. They may be ruling that Atherton was going for the ball, but you can see he comes up, makes the contact before the ball gets there, and that's what Ken Bauman is hot about on the sidelines for Mahnomen.
There is no penalty. The ball is at the 22-yard line. It is 4th down at 8, and Mahnomen is going to go for it with 12 seconds left in the first quarter. Jason Miller, a fumble by Jason Oakland, and it's recovered by Corey Knight. And Waterville Elysian might have got the ball anyway, but definitely has it now, as Corey Knight has been a big play guy here in the first quarter for the Buccaneers.
Oakland pulled it out of there, wanted to run something wide, but before he could get a handle on it and do whatever he was going to do, he dropped the ball. Here he pulls it back, fakes twice, and then he was looking to get out and around Tom Little. He could not do it. The ball came loose, and the quarter comes to an end.
That is the end of the first quarter in the Class C championship game. Prep Bowl 89. There's no score as Mahnomen and Waterville Elysian go at it.
Waterville Elysian to the attack from their own 24-yard line. Both defenses have been very strong here, not allowing much yardage. Waterville Elysian going under a real test here. They conquered Minneota, a passing team, ended their victory string at 40-something.
48.
48 was it?
Amazing, and they whopped them too, 43-14. Now Chris Gross brings the Buccaneers to the line at his own 24-yard line. It is 1st and 10. Audible here. Some audible. Nobody knows what's going on, so they're going to call timeout. That's a little obvious.
I started to say Waterville Elysian has had to switch their defensive scheme from the pass-oriented last week in the championship to get to Prep Bowl to a run-oriented defense here, and they've done it very well so far.
Coach allowed out on the field during the timeout, and so they're going to have a little talk about that. The Buccaneers' only loss in this season, they're 12-1, was a 20-13 loss to Medford in the 4th game of the year. They turned the ball over 6 times, and according to head coach John Bakken, had a terrible week of practice. He said, we've never been overconfident since then. They beat Medford the next time they met. That was in the state quarterfinals. Whopped them 42-12.
And you got to look at John Bakken in the Waterville Elysian huddle. Now we're over on the Mahnomen side of the field.
There's John Bakken. Getting his offense squared away on what they were going to do back there. There was some confusion. That's frustrating because then you have to burn out a timeout to get squared away. But a good quarterback, when it is plain that it isn't quite clear, will go ahead and use it. 1st and 10 at the 24 as we start the 2nd quarter. And it comes right back to Matt Sorensen, who is stacked up at the 26 by Earl McDougall. We talked about this game with John Bakken, the head coach of the Buccaneers.
The team overall kind of thinks that way. They're more so of a team to say, we're going to just try to play as best we can this week, and the other team turns out to be better, we're going to lose the game. If it turns out not to be, we're going to win the game. They don't try to make too lofty goals and just try to play the best they can.
John Bakken, the head coach at Waterville Elysian.
And he was talking about his team doesn't get too excited. I had asked him whether the victory over Minneota was shocking to them or terribly surprising. He said, no, that's just the way they go about things. They do the best they can under the circumstances that present themselves, and so far that's been good enough to bring them to the Prep Bowl.
Boy, it sure has been. It's now 3rd and 7 for the Buccaneers on their own 27-yard line. No score in the game. Corey Nye, wide right, play in the middle, might have been a fumble. They'll stack it up back at the 25.
He definitely dropped the ball. I think the green shirts are back on top of it, however, but that's going to bring up 4th and long and punt formation, or deep punt formation, as Lindsey Nelson used to say.
Deep punt formation, that's right. Deep punt formation. 10:46 left in the first half at the Metrodome. There is no score in the game, our Class C title game. Using that glove, the boot from Troy Larson, sails high and away. Jeremy Oakland is going to have to chase it. Whoops, did he touch it? It falls out of bounds at the 20, and that's where they'll mark the ball down. And that's where Mahnomen will take over 1st and 10 at its own 20-yard line when we come back to the Prep Bowl.
And it's been jockey for position. Each team has had a little bit of field position, but has been unable to do anything with it. Defenses have been that stingy. We have no score. Just underway in the 2nd quarter. We're about a minute into the 2nd period.
Mahnomen certainly has a great tradition of winning football over the years. The all-time record at Mahnomen, 386 wins, 133 losses, and 9 ties. That's a 740 winning percentage.
Ken Bauman in his 21 years is 187-34-2. Been runner up a couple of times at Prep Bowl, and would like to go one better here today.
He's won 84% of the games he's coached. Here's the pitch back from Jason Oakland, turning the corner. Jason Miller at the 20 to 25, smashed at the 29-yard line and driven out of bounds by Tostin Taylor on the lead block at the 23. Number 23, rather, 30.
We'll get a great picture of this one. Is Jason Miller, not related to the Gopher hockey player, as far as I know, runs it right at our camera. Looks like he might be able to turn it up and get the first down, but the pursuit is there again. Chad Atherton getting help on that play. It's 2nd and short.
Down there, is there anything left for Phil? Yeah, he's up in the corner. We're all right. 2nd and 1 at the 29-yard line. Right through the middle on the quick play across the 30 to the 31. And just to the first down marker, Darren Fromm and Brent Herring.
There's Phil. He works on his back pedal a little bit during the intermission so that he can get out of the way of traffic.
That's what he sees down on the sideline there. Just made the first down, and his 1st and 10 from Mahnomen on its own 31-yard line. Jason Oakland, the senior quarterback. Jeremy Oakland in motion. Jason, play action.
Nothing developed downfield. The pursuit
Pursuit by Brent Herring, number 74, as he tried to turn the corner, and Trent Morris, the defensive right end, also there to wrap him up.
This is a risky rollout. He is a left-handed thrower, but you can see he's fading away from the line of scrimmage all the time until the end there, and the pursuit just catches up with him. And normally on those rollout plays, there's only one or two at the most options, a short one and a man breaking deeper downfield. That's a hard ball to throw on the run, and if they're covered, you don't have a heck of a lot of options.
9:02 left in the first half. There's no score. Mahnomen and Waterville Elysian. Class C championship game at the Metrodome. Glad to have you with us throughout the upper Midwest, and you folks in the Fargo area as well, as you look at the Mahnomen Indians area. Along with Jim Gilliland, this is Doug McLeod. J.G. Preston down on the sidelines. Barry Williams here too. Be back a little bit later on. Glad to have you aboard for Prep Bowl 89 at the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome. Jeremy Oakland, now who backs up Jason Oakland, is in at quarterback. And he tries the pitch as they turn it back for Jason Miller. Got a block, but there was very good pursuit by Waterville Elysian's John Riley, number 60, who had 59 tackles on the year, and Corey Nye, number 83, who was there. And here's the field level look again.
John Riley is 6'3", 190. And Jason Miller, the halfback, both introducing themselves to the sidelines and all the coaches and staff that are gathered there. Mahnomen and Waterville Elysian tried to get to the outside, but they're finding that the other team is just as quick as they are, and consequently have not been a lot of big offensive plays.
Jeremy Oakland now in the junior quarterback. A quick jump. Stunting around in the Elysian backfield. The fake first draw in the hand of the second man through got stacked up and nailed by Darren Fromm, and Matt Sorensen and John Riley were in, and that is great defensive coverage.
Here's him picking the second man.
Jason Hendrickson.
Through Hendrickson in the game too, as they try to get a little spark on offense, but Waterville Elysian is having none of it.
There was Darren Fromm, the nose guard. 8 minutes flat to go in the first half, no score. And being 4th and 13, Bob Bjorgi will boot it away. Nope, not much distance. It goes straight up and drops at the 50-yard line. Up for grabs. And finally does bounce right in front of one of the Mahnomen players. That will turn the ball over with 7:45 left in the scoreless second quarter.
56 catches for 1,328 yards and 23 touchdowns this season. His first varsity football, even though he's a senior. We asked Corey Knight, how come the late start?
I guess in 9th grade, I went out for football, and they told me that I should play quarterback, and I didn't really feel like I wanted to, so I just said I'd quit a few years, and then I just came back for my senior year, and it's been fun.
Corey Knight, you know, John Bakken, the head coach, said he has career numbers in 1 year.
And most kids want to be the quarterback. In 9th grade, they told him you're the quarterback, and he said no.
Big pursuit by Keith Kirsch, and down went Chris Gross, the Waterville Elysian quarterback, on 1st and 10.
It looked like they were trying to get the ball to Knight again, but the coverage was set. Well, of course, he didn't have any time at all. Gross turned, and the man was in his face.
It looked like they threw a trap up on the line, and that opened up a nice big hole for Keith Kirsch to come bounding through. Now it is 2nd and 15. The ball is back on the Waterville Elysian 36-yard line. No score, just over 7 minutes to go in the first half of the Metrodome. The pattern is full. Gross is back to throw. Rockets one that is deflected and caught by Earl McDougal, number 75, the defensive right tackle of the Mahnomen Indians, and the ball turned over on a big defensive play by one of the down linemen.
Well, the Buccaneers that time tried to look off the defense. He looks toward Knight as Gross comes out of there, then swings back to the left side where he did have the man open there. You could see him in the background, Justin Selrod, but it was They didn't get that far. And for good reason, big number 75, McDougal, gets his mitts on it. And again, Mahnomen with good field position. Last time they hurt themselves with a motion penalty. They brought back a big pass play. We'll see if they can advance it again.
Jason Oakland now calling the signals for Mahnomen. He slams it to the belly of Jeremy Oakland, and he is double teamed and nailed back behind the line of scrimmage. Jason Selbrae, number 33, first in along with the linebacker Russ Forshing, who had 68 tackles coming into this year.
Fake to the fullback, give it to the next man on the counter, and Selbrae is there to plug up the hole along with Morshing.
36-yard line now. It is second down and 13. Burdick, wide left. Miller slot to the left and fake to Miller. Now he'll take it and cut the corner, but could not go anywhere as he was initially banged on down there by Tom Little, and then Corey Knight, the corner, in good coverage, was right there. Here's how Mike Dolan, our ground level cameraman over there, saw it.
I think Jason Miller wants to get into the cameraman business someday. He keeps coming over there to introduce himself and say, how do I get in?
Yeah, here's Mike. Yep. And this is what he sees down there as Jason Oakland brings the Mahnomen Indians to the line. Third down and 13 at the Waterville Elysian 36-yard line. 5.5 to go in the half. Motion Jeremy Oakland back to throw Jason. Big pursuit. Pocket collapse. Jason on the run to the 30. And he's tripped up and dropped to the 36 by the linebacker Russ Forshing, number 41, who snipped that one out. And yet good presence of mind and turned into a nice gainer for Jason Oakland.
Now that play was defensed superbly, and Jason Oakland made something out of nothing. And now on 4th and 4, they'll have a shot at it where they wouldn't have back there on 4th and 30. They would likely have kicked, but Oakland, just a good athlete that he is, feels his way up the field, dodging those green shirts. Finally gets brought down at the 27-yard line.
And now Mahnomen wants to call timeout. Jason Oakland signaled for time to bring Ken Bauman, the head coach, out, and they'll talk it over, and we'll be back with a scoreless first half in our Class C championship game. High school fans are really going at it here today. The Waterville Elysian fans, they have a great Buccaneer mascot, sort of a Captain Hook character, except with everything there, and they really get the crowd going. And you saw how many green sweaters and polo shirts are here, the green-clad Waterville Elysian Buccaneers. Right now it's 4th and 4 at the 27 for Mahnomen. They'll go for it and stack up the backfield. Now motion right. Play goes left, fumble, and recovered by Matt Sorensen, number 38 of Waterville Elysian. And the ball turns over. Brent Herring was there to cause it all.
First, the fullback on these option plays is paying every time, whether he's got the ball or not. And that time, it looked like Oakland maybe wanted to pull it out of there, and the fullback gets sort of caught on his hip.
Watch 74 Brent Herring, who makes this happen. There he is, right in the middle of your screen. There's the ball loose, and Sorensen comes to dive on it.
I'm sure Oakland didn't want to pull that ball out, but it got hit at the same time.
Now on the draw, Waterville Elysian isn't going to go anywhere, and a great big stop by the defensive right tackle, Earl McDougal, and there he is.
Well, no one has scored more than 10 points all season long on Mahnomen. That was Bagley in game 2, and they went down 26-10. And so there was no reason to believe that this was not going to be a good defensive game. In fact, nobody has scored more than 20 on Waterville Elysian. But we did not expect to be scoreless at this point. If you just joined us, Albrook fell in the class in the 9-man game, 47-12. St. Clair, the 9-man champions.
2nd and 10, 27. Gross airs it out, and too long and too far on the left side for Britt Christensen, number 86, who was covered all the way down by Jeremy Oakland. Let's watch it coming right into your living room.
Well, using Knight as a decoy pretty much because he's been so well covered.
Whoa! This
one is thrown to Phil Renault, and just a little bit short for him, however, and long for Brent Christensen.
I hope you got your 3D glasses prior to the game. Boy, oh boy. 3:59 and left in a scoreless first half. The ball is at the Waterville Elysian 27-yard line. Buccaneers now staring right into a 3rd and 10, and the junior quarterback, Chris Gross. Wide receiver right. It goes right for Knight at the 40, and it is incomplete as he was covered step for step by the left cornerback, Dean Burdick.
Burdick has denied Knight the ball all day, playing him tough. And the way you loosen that up a little bit is just to take off. And Knight was out there. He had a good 2 steps on Burdick, but the ball was underthrown. He had to wait. And consequently, Burdick was able to get back into the play. And it will be 4th down.
On 4th down, the punt will go from Troy Larson. It sails back to Jeremy Oakland, who drops it at the 35 and then covers it up again in a tense moment for Jeremy Oakland, who's averaging 34 yards a punt return this year, but will not help the average too much on that one.
Jeremy Oakland, a very dangerous punt return man, but of course not if you can't catch the ball first. And once he drops it, he has to just worry about getting on it and maintaining possession. So Mahnomen takes over on the 35 with 3:43 to play in the half.
And again, I feel for a high school player who plays outside his entire life and then one day comes in and plays under the Teflon here with the lights and the deceptive ceiling. It can be tough. Mahnomen takes over. 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. Right to the belly of the beast for Bob Bjorgi, fullback, and he ran right smack into the nose guard, Darren Fromm, at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. Ball still at the 36-yard line. Well, maybe they will give him just a yard, a generous yard. Troy Larson, who anchors the left side of the defensive line for the Waterville Elysian Buccaneers. They continue to use that double tight end set and try to be quick out of it. Hendrickson in motion. Back goes Jason Oakland. Fires to Burdick and is caught at the 50-yard line, and he was immediately nailed by the safety, Chad Atherton.
That time the deception worked. The fake the running play. Burdick wide open. He breaks clear for a 1st down. He was running. If that ball had been a little zipped in there a little harder, Burdick might have been able to get it up and turn the corner. But when you have a man that wide open, first priority, make sure you get in that ball.
Don Bauman, the Mahnomen head coach, well knows the importance of the Prep Bowl to his team. 2:39 now to go in the 1st half. It is 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line of Waterville Elysian. Mahnomen with the ball and moving. Slot to the left. Wing right, now motion. Rolling. Big pursuit, and down goes Jason Oakland as Tom Little, number 83, came busted back there to break up the clear.
Well, this is our 8th Prep Bowl, and Ken Bauman enjoys being part of Prep Bowl, and he thinks the advent of the Prep Bowl has been very good for high school football in Minnesota.
No doubt about it. I think our just the fan enthusiasm, the whole state gets wrapped up in this at playoff time. I know Mahnomen does. Our kids really look forward to the opportunity to have that 2nd season in the playoffs, and win or lose, I think our level of competition at that in the playoffs is much better than it is in the regular season.
Jason Oakland's pass for Dean Burdick right off the fingertips and incomplete.
Even though they don't like to throw that much, when the defense is shutting down your run so thoroughly and playing it so close to the vest and uptight, you got to try to loosen them a little bit. And again, that was close to being a big play. Man couldn't quite hang on. He juggled it, and that was enough to bring the defense to the rescue.
Generally, Mahnomen really comes out of the chute fast in both halves. During the season, they outscored their opponents 116-3 in the 1st quarter, 107-0 in the 3rd. Now it is 3rd and 18 with the ball on their own 43-yard line. Jason Oakland, play action, long for Burdick, almost intercepted by Chad Atherton, and incomplete inside the 25-yard line. Going for something long and high here in the late moments of the 1st half.
Again, trying to loosen them up, and I wonder how many times this year Mahnomen has tried 3 consecutive passes. Burdick, undoubtedly their fastest man, because he's the one who's assigned to watch Corey Knight on the other side of the ball, and he could not quite get to that one.
Well, Oakland only a 39% passer on the year. Now the punt got away by Bob Bjorgi. Knight will have to chase it. Picked it up at the 10, turns back to the 5. Corey Knight in the wrong end of the neighborhood. Finally run out at the 11-yard line, and that is where Waterville Elysian will take over with 1:22 left in a scoreless 1st half.
He had a tough decision to make once this ball is bounding away from him. And does he risk it going down and into the end zone? I think he did the right thing. I think those guys would have got down there and covered it before it got to the goal line, and he was able to bring it back to the 10 and 11 and give his team a little bit of room. Again, they were kicking that ball away from Nye. They don't want him to catch it in full stride. They'd rather kick it short and have it bounce away from him than give him the ball with a chance to return it. Now, Mahnomen, as you could have heard the referee call there, has taken a timeout with 1:22 to play in the half.
There's that Buccaneer mascot I was telling you about. The face on. They're on TV. Got the knife clenched in the teeth. The Waterville Elysian Buccaneers have some mighty boisterous fans. And they've had good reason to be. They've averaged 286 yards a game. And they just kept going and going and going. Now, they have seen themselves on the color scoreboard replay here, so that really gets them going.
Here you have the Mahnomen side of the field. The thing that jumps out at me about Waterville Elysian, and a great credit to the Mahnomen defense, they had 556 yards of offense in that win over Minnesota, a team that had won 48 consecutive games. That is awfully impressive. And Ken Bauman said yesterday at the workout, you're going to have our hands full from what I've seen. That team is great offensively, but we are very tough defensively, and that's where our greatest challenge will come. But they've been up to it today.
Neither of these teams is the kind of team that's going to run over you with their great big people. Both teams are very quick, and Waterville Elysian basically survives on its quickness. Bakken says they're not big enough to knock people over, so they just run around them. And that could be very effective. Ball is on their own 11, and Waterville Elysian goes to work now, 1st and 10. With 1:22 left in the first half. Corey Nide split wide left. And off on the right side to the fullback, Matt Sorensen. Got across the 15 and just hauled a swarm of tacklers with him to the 20-yard line. Take your pick. The nose guard Keith Kirsch was in there, among others.
I'm sure Ken Bauman on that timeout with just 1:22 to play, and the 2 timeouts for Waterville Elysian said, we're going to play it a little bit softer. We're not going to let Nide beat us with the big play. They have too far to go in 1:22 on the ground. Now, that play was successful on the ground, but it took up at least 30 seconds now. The clock's still running, and we're under 50 seconds now to play in the half, and that's not enough time for a ground attack to do any damage before half.
And another few yards as Charles Coleman will slam the door on the play coming in over right tackle, and the fullback Matt Sorensen, as they've gone to 2 straight fullback draws. A very solidly built fullback, 5'8", 180 junior. The other guys in the conference call him all 5, because he has got those big legs and he can really power with those strong muscles.
Well, if this is another run, it will be the last play of the first half, barring a fumble.
Half a minute to go. 1st and 10 for Waterville Elysian now at its own 24-yard line. Deuce backfield, slot to the right. Gross will throw over the middle, tipped away, and intercepted by Jason Oakland, quarterback to quarterback, and Jason Oakland is finally piled out of bounds inside the 10-yard line with 14 seconds left in the first half.
Oh, big play by Jason Oakland. I'm sure Waterville Elysian thought they were throwing what was a conservative high percentage pass play, but that defense has been very tough. You watch Gross roll, and really the man had a hand on the ball, so it was not the quarterback's fault that the ball deflected so high and was picked off by Oakland. A good heads-up play to rally and make the tackle before Oakland could get into the end zone, because even though they have great field position, they only have 14 seconds, and they're going to have at the outside 3 shots at getting it in the end zone. You have to wonder if Mahnomen has any kind of a kicking game, if they will bring it into play here.
They've attempted no field goals in the entire 1989 season, and so they will throw it. Jason Oakland to the end zone, and in for Dean Burdick, and Mahnomen scores a touchdown with 9 seconds left in the first half to take the lead 6-0.
I'll give credit to Ken Bauman and his tactic with that timeout with a little over a minute to go. I'm sure he got more pass defense in there, thinking they couldn't run the ball down the field. And that gave them another shot. The turnover put it down on the 10-yard line, and Burdick broke clear that time. He was uncovered. Defensive lapse from Waterville Elysian, their first of the game, and it puts Mahnomen on the board with a chance to add the conversion.
10-yard touchdown strike from Oakland to Burdick. Here's the point after kick right through the uprights, and with 9 seconds left in the first half, it is Mahnomen 7 and Waterville Elysian nothing. So they've continued to show these two teams that nobody panics in a tough situation. You just try to stand fast, but Jason Oakland and the Indians decided to get this one done, not quite that quickly, but pretty quickly. He was a set play, no option here, no play action. It was One strike to Dean Burdick at the 1. Bingo. One play, 10 yards, 5 seconds. Of course, it was all set up on that interception by Jason Oakland.
Well, I think John Bakken and his kids have to get as positive as they can, not try to let this throw them off as they head into the dressing room at intermission. Of course, that's barring a big kickoff return or a fumble on this kick. They know it was their mistake that led to Mahnomen's big play, and not Mahnomen necessarily outplaying it.
Low line drive. Trying to hustle and keep going. Right side, Toston Taylor. And is forced out of bounds shy of the 50-yard line with 1 second left.
Toston Taylor on the return here with just a second to play in the half. He switched it to his right hand so that he could protect it from the tacklers. Got out of bounds, did his job, and now it lets his team try to set up a miracle play here.
I'll tell you something, that's a nice play if you are a very sure-handed ball carrier, and it's a very dangerous play in any other situation. Coaches will tell you, if you played football, don't be shifting the ball in your hands, but if you've got the good feet and the good soft hands, then you can do it. 1 second left in the first half. Waterville Elysian is called timeout. Mahnomen leading 7-0. I wonder if they'll pass.
Well, you know they're going to try something, or they wouldn't have bothered to take the timeout. I'm sure Knight will figure in it some way, either as a short receiver who maybe will try to catch the ball and lateral it to somebody else, or as people were talking about him running like a deer. That's an overworked expression, but he can really run and jump, and maybe he'll get down there and try to leap up and tip it to a teammate or something of that nature. It's doubtful that Gross has the kind of arm that would enable him to throw it up there 65, 70 yards in the air.
Although Gross has been able to fire strikes this year, he's passing at a 55.4% rate. He's thrown for 1,700 yards and 29 touchdowns. The longest has been 69 yards. His arm is adequate.
The Oakland brothers are back there about 20 yards from the line of scrimmage.
What helps Chris Gross with his passing is he throws a true spiral. And here he goes back to throw. Hail Mary for Corey Knight! And it is picked off by Dean Burdick at the 20-yard line as time expires in the first half. It was all set up with Jason Oakland's interception of a pass, then his pass to Dean Burdick put Mahnomen on the board with 9 seconds left. They go to the locker room at halftime in the Class C championship game with the Mahnomen Indians 7, the Waterville Elysian Buccaneers 0, and this game was not short of a little hair-raising action in the final moments of the first half. Prep Bowl 8, the Class C title game of the Mahnomen Indians.
John Bakken says in case you're wondering, he has no relatives in Minnesota. All the Bakkens that he knows are from North Dakota. From St. Paul, we have a lot of Bakkens.
How many Bakkens, I was going to say, can there be in the state of Minnesota?
Got a lot of them.
Thousands of them.
And he says North Dakota, so some of his friends are no doubt watching on KTHI in Fargo as well.
So we're just about set to go for the third quarter. We have a lot of action yet to go today. The Class B game will follow this one. We'll have the A-tilt and the big AA finale tonight between Stillwater and the Burnsville Braves.
There's not really a lot of options. Ken Bauman said that his team was losing the battle at the line of scrimmage, his offensive line at least, and that had to change, but there's not much you can do in terms of changing personnel. These are the guys who got you here, and they're just going to have to tighten those belts a little bit and decide that they're going to be the ones who move instead of the opposition. Waterville Elysian kicks it away.
Dave Gleason will take the kick. It will land and bounce and be some trouble here. Finally tipped by Jeremy Oakland across the 20 and brought down inside the 25-yard line by John Riley, who came in with 59 tackles and a fumble recovery on the year. John Riley, number 60, one of the linebackers, and on special teams as well, obviously, for the Waterville Elysian Buccaneers.
It's not only the lights that cause problems for the kick returners who haven't played indoors up until now. It's the turf. They don't play on the artificial surface. The ball takes a lot stranger hops, and when the ball bounces, sometimes you see them rush in, not anticipating that big hop, and it's caused problems for both teams.
It is 1st and 10 for Mahnomen. The ball on its own 24-yard line. Second half just underway. The delay, fumble, and it's recovered by Waterville Elysian as Austin Taylor, number tree, scooped it up with a good shortstop move on the bounce and brought it back to the 18-yard line.
Well, he caught that, picked that ball right out of the air so he can return it. As you'll see, another good stick up close to the line of scrimmage caused this fumble. There's nowhere for that man to run. Even though they pulled it out, well, the exchange actually caused that fumble. I was looking at the fullback, but the second man threw did not get a clean handoff from Jason Oakland. The ball just popped right in there. And it was returned into great field position by Atherton.
Now the play to the fullback, Matt Sorensen, got across the 15-yard line. And he might have had some trouble with it. Bob Bjorky, the linebacker, put him down, and we have a player down on the field for Mahnomen.
I'm sure Waterville Elysian felt it was their own fault that they were behind at halftime. They wanted to come out and do something positive to turn it around here right away. They've got good position now.
We'll be back with 11:05 to go in the third quarter. Up on the play, number 58, one of the Mahnomen linebackers. He'll be all right. 11:05 to go in the third quarter. It is 7-0 Mahnomen, and Waterville Elysian now with the ball on the Mahnomen 13. It is 2nd down and 5. Chris Gross, wide receiver left. They'll go to Tostin Taylor up the middle and got to about the 11-yard line before he was stopped by Roy Bjorky, number 32.
Straight ahead the plunge, thinking definite 4-down territory here. If you can get half of it, and they got more than half of it now. They have 2 more downs to negotiate that last 2 yards.
Ball just over the 10-yard line, just about to the 11. Ball at the 10. It is 3rd down and 2 for Waterville Elysian. Tostin Taylor wrapped up as he came to the line by Earl McDougall. Fumble, and
no fumble, I think.
nope, it was after the whistle. Keith Kirsch jumped in on it, but the whistle had already been blown. The ball was dead. There is no fumble, but certainly no running room either for Tostin Taylor.
And there's the danger of the deep handoff. You see that time Taylor hit before he had a chance to get anything started. Excellent defensive play by McDougall. We've called his name a number of times this afternoon.
Ace punt.
5'11", 210-pound senior. Now it's 4th and 5, and a very different call for John Bakken and the Buccaneers.
Now the ball spotted at the 8-yard line of Mahnomen. I'm sorry, at the 13-yard line. 4th and 5 at the 13. Wide receiver to the right side is Brent Atherton. Knight on the left side. Deuce backfield with Knight in motion. Rocket to Knight, complete at the 8, 5, 2, and down inside the 1-yard line by Jason Oakland.
You just knew that they were going to have to get Knight the ball. They got to be looking at those glaring stats in the locker room at halftime. Set him up, set the receiver down, had him come in motion and get the angle on his defender, and a very nice catch. Good elusive move to get by Oakland and almost into the end zone.
So it's 1st and goal inside the 1-yard line. Mahnomen hoping for a big stand, but they go right through the middle. Touchdown. Waterville Elysian is on the scoreboard with 9:22 left in the third quarter. Tostin Taylor and company right up the middle.
They only had a little bit of yardage to negotiate. Taylor takes it over the top, gets hit, doesn't have a lot of room, but enough to push him into the end zone by a yard or so. And now the 1-point conversion will be attempted, and if it's successful, it will be a tie game.
Dave Gleason, number 10, will kick. It's a trick play. Corey Knight will throw in a halfback pass, and it is just short at the 2-yard line, intended for Chad Atherton, but Dean Burdick, the cornerback, had him covered on the play. The fireworks are popping now early in the second half. It's 7-6 Mahnomen. Off the clock, and Tostin Taylor's 1-yard run took it in, but that pass from Corey Knight to Brent Atherton was incomplete on the 2-point try, and it is thus 7-6 Mahnomen with 9:22 left in the third quarter of our Class C championship game. And ready to kick off for the Waterville Elysian Buccaneers is Dave Gleason, who's done all their place kicking, point afters, and so on. chop that one. It'll drop at the 25-yard line and be picked up on the go. Across the 35 by Jason Hendrickson and to the 37-yard line. A couple of men brought him down. Mike Bear in as a special teams end. Got the stop. Lee Edberg on the play as well.
Great defensive play by both teams in this game so far. The 2 touchdowns have been set up by turnovers, so that will continue to be a key. Not only which offense can move the ball, but which one can prevent the defense from taking the ball away from them.
Mahnomen 1st and 10 on its own 37-yard line. Jason Oakland fake, and to the second man through Jason Miller, and stacked up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play as he ran into a wall of Waterville Elysian Buccaneers coming through. The nose guard Darren Fromm.
See the penetration they're getting. There's nowhere for the ball carrier to go, and the linemen are that far upfield. Just a tremendous defensive play by Little that time, taking on 2 blockers and making the tackle to boot.
No gain on the play, 2nd and 10 at the Mahnomen 37-yard line. Big rush at the line. Waterville Elysian working on the corners. Here goes the hand into the belly and over the left side, but not very much farther for Jeremy Oakland. Trent Morris, number 61, the defensive end, stacked him up there. This will be a good one to look at from ground level.
They've taken away that first option virtually. They're burying the fake man or the up man every time he gets the ball, and then just depending on the quickness in the secondary linebackers to clean up if that up man doesn't get the ball, and they were right there again that time. It was a gain on the play, but only about 3-4 yards.
Waterville's Elysian's defense actually rosters 2 safeties. They play 1 deep and work everybody else on the corners on those offensive plays. 7:51 left in the 3rd quarter, and we'll be right back. Here's helmets is that number 70. The seniors have dedicated this season to their classmate Ted Roy, who would have been a starting 2-way tackle this season. He was killed in an incident in Arizona last December. That was his number 70. They're all wearing it on their helmets. Mahnomen Indians now are 3rd and 8 at the 39-yard line in their own territory. Jason Oakland, play action on the right side, and it is intercepted by Corey Nye. Right on the far sideline to the 40, 30. Rick Romer out of bounds right at the 30-yard line, and Corey Nye continues to be the big play 2-way man.
You can see some of his athleticism come to fruition now here in the 2nd half. He's got the man out there, Oakland, one-on-one. You pick up the replay after he was looking at Oakland's eyes. When he saw him turn and locate the ball, he turned too and found it first. It was a little bit underthrown, and he was able to make the play and then shake off Jeremy Oakland, turn it back upfield, and again, the defense setting up the offense, and we'll see if the Buccaneer offense can convert.
7:38 left in the 3rd quarter. 1st and 10 for Waterville Elysian, and the sweep goes on the left side for a short gainer before the linebacker Bob Bjorgi came in and shut that one down for the fullback Matt Sorensen.
It almost seems as if that play at the end of the 1st half where they gave up the interception to Mahnomen spurred them on. They went in as an angry bunch at halftime, and they've come out and dominated since the 2nd half whistle.
2nd down and 6. Waterville Elysian with the ball at the Mahnomen 27. Justin Selbrade wide to the left. Nye in motion. The handoff over the right side, and Sorensen stacked up by Dean Burdick, and there was some popping going on there.
That was a hard hit there. Watch Burdick, number 25, get his bearings, lower himself, and just get that leverage up and into the ball carrier, Sorensen.
You get a big grinding fullback like Matt Sorensen, and you'd better get him low. You try and stand up a guy like that, and you're going to have tire marks on you. Now Gross back to throw. Lots it for Tom Little, but it was over his head. He was covered in single coverage back there by Jeremy Oakland as they were going for the end zone.
That's one of those plays where both sides of the field are booing, thinking that either one could have been called for interference, but I think it's a good no call by the official. There's Christensen heading down there, and both men are looking up, and the contact was made, but neither one at a disadvantage really because of the contact, and so it'll force 4th down and 2 or 3 to go, and probably a good gamble down for John Bakken on that third down, thinking he still had another down to negotiate the first down.
4th and 2 at the 23-yard line. Pattern is full, but Waterville Elysian now will call timeout. Timeout with 6:17 remaining in the third quarter.
Now, the clock is still running for some reason. And they're going to have to correct that. They're down. They've had a good 15 seconds tick off since the timeout was called.
Now the official has signaled to stop the clock. I don't know that the official, well, they still haven't done it.
Clock operator must not know. There, somebody has bumped him, but that's...
They owe him a good 20 seconds now. I think I said 6:15 or something like that left. It's down to 5:58.
Up to 6:15.
Thank you very much. That's what the guy said on TV, so it must be true. If you believe that. And they'll get it fixed. 6:15 is actually going to be the time remaining.
Heads up job by Jack Kelly and his crew, though, to notice the time that had elapsed and get it back up on the clock.
7-6, Mahnomen leads the game on a score with 9 seconds left in the first half. Jason Oakland's 10-yard pass to Dean Burdick. And the point after was good. Waterville Elysian scored with 9:22 left in the third on a 1-yard plunge by Tostin Taylor. They tried a 2-point conversion pass, but that was unsuccessful. And thus we are 7-6. Mahnomen is leading by 1. Hope you'll stay with us throughout the day. Class B championship game will be coming up following this one. Perry Williams will be back for that one.
Huge play here. 4th and 3.
Again, single setback, flanker right, slot right, split left, back to throw Gross, lofts it to nobody, and it drops in front of the Jeremy Oakland, the right cornerback. What they were trying to do was apparently curl in the receiver on the left side, Justin Selbrae, but it was not close.
Well, they used Knight as a decoy that time, thinking he would draw the double coverage and the back Taylor would be able to swing out and make the play, but the ball was thrown too far.
5:51 remaining in the third quarter. 7-6 Mahnomen. And so the ball goes over to
Mahnomen, and now there's
Mahnomen
an
Indians.
equipment timeout as Jack Kelly talks with Jason Hendrickson. Trying to do repair work there. Now we're ready to go.
The Mahnomen Indians have appeared in the state playoffs 10 times in the last 20 years. They were the Class B runner-ups 3 times, but have never won a championship. Now they have the ball 1st and 10 on their own 23-yard line. Wide receiver to the right side. This will counter. And Jason Hendrickson will take the ball across the 25 before the linebacker Matt Sorensen, who is their leading tackler for Waterville Elysian coming into the game, will stack him up. Number 38. He was helped along the way by the safety Tostin Taylor.
Good hole opened up that time, but the quickness of the Buccaneers closed it down before they could do a lot of damage, although 4 yards on first down is a lot better than they have been doing.
Mahnomen had almost twice as many first downs as its opponent during the year. 182 to 90. Here's the pitch. Back on the 20-yard line. And cutting across, Jason Miller nailed by Russ Morse. I should say they had never won a championship. They have not won in their recent appearances. It's been almost a decade, I guess, hasn't it? 79 or 80, wasn't it? 1980. And a player down on the field now for Mahnomen.
I think what they meant is they have not won since we've gone to the Prep Bowl format.
The Prep Bowl format
down here, but
that's
Class
what I meant
B
to
champs,
say.
1980, and now the man shaking up for Mahnomen.
Jason Miller, the running back, number 22, their leading ground gainer on the year with over 1,000 yards coming in. Let's see if we can see what happened here.
Oh, he's taken a lot of punishment today. He lowered the head there.
Russ Morshing and Matt Sorensen got him high and low.
Came down hard on the left shoulder and the left helmet gear. There's not such a thing as a left helmet gear, is there?
Just left side of the helmet.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's
so
what I meant. Just read our minds, folks. You know, that's what we mean.
Jason's all right. Yeah, just a little bit of a hard fall there.
All right, Jason Miller, their leading scorer, 18 touchdowns, 1,004 yards coming into the game today. He has 17 yards on 8 carries so far here in this game. And now it is 2nd down and 2 to the 31-yard line. Slot flanker twins to the right. Play goes back for Hendrickson. And a fumble in the play. And it is recovered by Waterville Elysian.
Again,
John Riley, number 60.
That's the best running play we've seen in 3 quarters from Mahnomen. It came with that counter that picked up good yardage in the last series, and this time Hendrickson was running free, really, and the man made the hit, but didn't really hit him where the ball was.
Chad Atherton, I think, hit him. And then John Riley, number 60. Maybe it was Toston Taylor. John Riley, number 60, big junior linebacker, recovered the ball. Now Waterville Elysian goes right back, and boy, you've got to be ready for a lightning change from defense to offensive back again in this game. Slot left, pitch left, Toston Taylor. Cross to the 50. He found a seam to the 45-40, and is finally double teamed by Jason Oakland and Earl McDougal, and brought down inside the 40-yard line at about the 39.
Taylor did a good job of getting both hands on the ball. Once he was being dragged, they started going for the ball, realizing that he wasn't going to get a lot more progress. You'll see here, they corral him, and then he's got to cover up and make sure he hangs onto that ball with 4 shirts around him.
Classic example of the danger to a defense of keying on the lead block. Troy Larson, the left tackle, 65, was the lead block on the play, but it was a ruse. You saw he did a little delay and then cut to his left, and Taylor, in that little seam that was opened up, then curled in, and it was a nice play. Meanwhile, one of the Mahnomen players has been roughed up. It's Bob Bjorgi, number 40, one of the linebackers, I believe. 4:28 left in the 3rd quarter. 7-6 Mahnomen. Toston Taylor was by his lonesome when he turned.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4 white shirts, and then as he gets into the secondary, we have even more traffic. And
that's a great shot. John Bakken looking on, the coach of the Waterville Elysian Buccaneers.
Fly to the football, the name of the game for the Mahnomen defense.
Indeedy. Christensen, tight end right, Selbrade wide to the left, slot to the right. He'll go over right tackle, and Russ Forshing didn't get anywhere. Mark Bogley, the linebacker, was there to stand him up and drive the nails in, and so was the nose guard Keith Kirsch. It looked like the defensive left tackle Charles Coleman was in there as well.
Get the feeling they're going to try to get it in Nide's hands again pretty soon. He was out there again in one-on-one coverage, and no discredit to Dean Burdick, but whenever they can isolate their man Nide like that, that's to their advantage, they feel.
Slot to the right now with Selbrade, Nide to the right. Reverse, Corey Nide with the ball, halfback pass, deep for Selbrade, and it was batted away from Selbrade at the 10-yard line by the safety, Travis Castee.
Nide showed some great skills again. They're running to his left, stopping and throwing that ball. Didn't quite get it out far enough for his teammate running alone down there, Selbrade.
Watch the option, a nice pitch on the reverse, and now the halfback pass.
There's Selbrade with a good 2 yards on his man, but he had to slow for that ball. The secondary rallies, and it's 3rd and long.
38-yard line. Somebody might have jumped early, I guess not. Gross rockets it out on the flat, complete to Corey Nide at the 27, and Nide is brought down at the 25-yard line, 1st down.
This guy's a big-time football player, I think. He's got size. He's only about 165, 170 pounds. But he made a beautiful square-in move there. Got Burdick just to bite a little bit on the deep route, and then turned it over the middle, made a nice catch again, and has the 1st down on a big 3rd and 10 play.
Corey Nide, 56 receptions in the regular season, 1,328 yards, 23 touchdowns.
In his 1st year of varsity competition.
Unbelievable. On 1st down, they go to the right side with Forshing, and he'll be smacked after a gain of a couple of yards on the play.
The impressive thing, not that he runs so well, is his hands for a 1st-year player. He's made a couple of tough catches, turned him into big yards.
As we've said, that spiral it's a nice, accurate pass to throw, but it can be very difficult if you have so-called hard hands to catch. But he certainly does not. Corey Nide. Nice to watch that young man play football.
Burdick has got the assignment of watching him, because it doesn't matter which side of the field Nide goes to, Burdick goes with it.
Now 2nd and 7 at the 22. Off right tackle and a little short gainer for Toston Taylor. Charles Coleman will make the stop. 2:21, clock running left in the 3rd quarter. It is Mahnomen 7, Waterville Elysian 6. It's been a low-scoring, high-intensity football game. A lot of explosion off the line. We've had some good, entertaining football to watch in this Class C championship game. Now Justin Selbrae swings out wide left. Brett Christensen is the tight end right. They'll put Knight in the slot right. Pitch to Toston Taylor, and good pursuit, and down goes Toston Taylor as Charles Coleman, the defensive left tackle, came in, and Keith Kirsch, 65, backed him up.
Well, that problem with the, see, Knight is a hot receiver. He thinks that anytime he gets that kind of room, they should just stand up and throw him the ball, and they probably do have that audible in their book, but the play was called a short side pitch, and Taylor had nowhere to go.
Now it is 4th and 7 at the 22-yard line. 1:20 left in the 3rd quarter. Gross, play action. On the flat, complete to Taylor, but he was nailed at the 20-yard line, and that won't be enough. Bob Bjorgi, number 40, the Mahnomen linebacker, came in to do the damage. Only a gain of a couple of yards, and the ball goes over to Mahnomen.
Well, Bjorgi has been the hit man on defense for Mahnomen. He shook the ball loose with a big hit in the 1st quarter. It was an excellent tackle there to wrap up Taylor, so he had no room to get the 1st down. And as a consequence, his team will regain possession.
Now with 1:09 remaining in the 3rd quarter, Mahnomen with a 1-point lead will have the ball at its own 19-yard line. And senior quarterback Jason Oakland will bring him to work. Fake hand to the 2nd man through. Jason Hendrickson got across the 20 to about the 22-yard line. Gain of 2 or 3 on the play. The nose guard Darren Fromm smacked that play to a halt. Jason Hendrickson, 80 carries, 481 yards, and 5 touchdowns on the year.
Mahnomen needs to generate a couple of 1st downs here, and for no other reason than to get the Waterville Elysian offense a little bit out of sync. They're starting to click a little bit and move the ball. But the longer Mahnomen can stay out there on offense, the more they might disrupt that rhythm.
Burdick is split wide to the right, slot right. And the pitch back now. Jason Miller shook off a tackle and was checked finally at the 23-yard line as he tried to turn in. Trent Morris, number 61. There was a solid pop coming in there, though. John Riley, I think, is the body it provided at number 60. Look at Riley here in the green, number 60. Boom!
He got hit as well as he gave there, but then the teammates were there to wrap up Miller.
Trent Morris, 61. There's John Riley. 59 tackles on the year. He's the one who did the job. That's the end of the 3rd quarter in the Class C championship game with our score. The Mahnomen Indians 7 and the Waterville Elysian Buccaneers 6.
Quarter to play. The team you're looking at, the Mahnomen Indians, have a 1-point lead over this man's team, John Bakken, and the Waterville Elysian Buccaneers. A well-played game despite the turnovers. It hasn't been really a game of careless mistakes. It's been popping that has caused the turnovers for the most part.
That's forced turnovers. We saw a lot of that in the St. Clair Albrook game, where St. Clair, which won the 9-man championship this morning, 47-12, forced a lot of turnovers.
There's a nice picture there. Ken Bauman was talking to some of the Waterville Elysian players saying, hey, great ball game. Isn't it a great thing to be part of, or something of that nature, as he smiled and walked off the field. 1 quarter to play.
Wide receiver left, twins right, motion right. They fire off the flat through the hands of Dean Burdick, who curled into the flat, but it couldn't hang on to it. Burdick, number 25, and Justin Selbrae, the right corner, made the stop.
A little bit of a risk by Selbrae because the inside position was held by Burdick, and Selbrae made the gamble leaping in front of him and did get his hand in there. Had he not, that was probably 6 points, or at least a long gain for Burdick.
Bob Bjorgi, the fullback, didn't have a big gaping hole in front of him there, did he? I'm sure he wished he had it. Well, Bjorgi will punt the ball away. And it will be caught at the 46-yard line by Corey Knight. And at that point, the Waterville Elysian Buccaneers will take over. 11:49 left to go. It's 7-6 Mahnomen. Left to go in our Class C championship game. It is Mahnomen 7 and Waterville Elysian 6. A parabolic microphone dish. with a shotgun microphone. In case you wondered what that was, Paul Kelly, those ace fingers on the audio. It's all his fault, folks. Great sounds you hear today. Motion right is Corey Nye. It is 1st and 10 at the 46. Waterville Elysian. Out it goes to Nye, and away it went at the 50-yard line. Nye was shadowed by Dean Burdick. Let's go down to the sidelines now. J.G. Preston.
Doug, if this score stands at 7-6, this would be the lowest scoring prep bowl game ever. The previous low scoring game was the very first high school game played here at the Metrodome in 1982, and Mahnomen was in that game too. They lost to Lee Center 12-6.
All right, JG, and there have been some real lopsided blowout type games in the history of the prep bowl, although I don't think anybody would say that, oh, for instance, the AA title game last year would fall into that category. A blazing thriller of a finish.
That was a well-conceived play, the one that didn't click a moment ago, getting Knight out in the flat. He just took his eye off the ball a little bit. Now he's heading deep down.
The same thing on the outside, and a little turn-in by Knight. He didn't get it, and it went right to the arms of Dean Burdick at the 32-yard line, and they will call it an interception. And Mahnomen will get the ball at the 32-yard line.
It was almost a great play by Knight, turned into a great play by Burdick. A lot of adjustments made on this play. First, Knight is going deep. He sees the ball thrown short. He pulls up, gets his hands on it. Burdick actually got his hand in there too, reaching back. That's a great bit of competition out there today between those two young men. And Burdick wins that one and gets the possession back for his team.
And he ain't gonna give it up to nobody. 11:32 to go now. 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. Mahnomen with the football in its own territory. Twins right, 2 setbacks in the backfield. Fake, hand right side to the off-tackle play as they got, a couple of yards maybe on the play as Jason Hendrickson took it in. And now
we've had about 3 whistles for men shaken up in the white shirts. And now this is the first one now for Waterville Elysian is Matt Sorensen. It goes down with favoring one knee there and has the trainers come out to take a look.
An official timeout for an injury as Matt Sorensen is roughed up on the play. 7-6 Mahnomen with 11:10 to go in the Class C title game. We'll be right back. All day and occasionally making a little rough against that light background for inexperienced pass catchers and punt catchers. Matt Sorensen on the sidelines walking it off. It is 2nd and 8 at the 34-yard line. Jason Oakland, fake, double fake, option rolling to the 40, cuts to his outside and was nailed by Corey Knight as he tried to go for the sideline. Smart play after he knew the thing was going to be shut down. Jason Oakland headed for the sidelines, but didn't quite make it.
Well, the Buccaneers continue to take away all those inside options. You can see they plugged up both the numbers 1 and 2 man, and Oakland pulls it out of there. Got some open field. Might have had a bigger run, except for the fine defensive tackle by Knight.
Well, the defensive line has done a job so far today for Waterville Elysian's Buccaneers, but we have had some great confrontations along the way. Now it is 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line for Mahnomen. 10:49 left to go in the football game. Linebackers stunning a little bit. Long count. Fake. Option left. Stacked up as he turned the corner. Trent Morris threw it in, and then it was nailed coming around the corner. Let's go down for an injury update to J.G. Preston.
Yeah, Doug, Sorensen went down with a twisted left knee, just slightly twisted. They do think he'll be able to come back, but he'll have to sit a couple series here, I think.
All right, twisted left knee, and again, we point out that when you don't play on the AstroTurf, sometimes that can inflame the situation a little bit more. It is now 2nd and 6 at the 47. Twins right, tight end left. Jeremy Oakland is the wide out. Jason Oakland, this time they go to fullback draw to Bob Bjorgi. Across the 50-yard, he sprung through again and got down at the 41-yard line. That play looked like it was over. And Chad Atherton finally put the brakes on Bob Bjorgi, who just powered through.
Well, that's the danger of the option. The defense, like the fans and the announcers, you got to know where that ball is. And if you don't know that the first man has it, you can see Bjorgi with some tough running there. Almost went down to a knee, regained his balance and got an additional 7-8 yards after it looked like he was stopped. And he's made big plays on both sides of the ball.
He was the leading ball carrier for the Indians coming into this game with 117 carries. His average not too big, as they usually go into those classic fullback situations for short yardage. 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. Now they hand it to Jeremy Oakland. Smack at the line of scrimmage and behind. Lost a yard on the play. Morshing and Sorensen, the linebackers.
You can see Waterville Elysian now trying to regain that momentum, which has gone over to the Mahnomen side. It looked like Waterville Elysian dominated most of the third quarter, got the only score, and was moving the ball well until that turnover. Now Mahnomen has pushed it up for a couple of first downs, and they face a big 2nd and 11 here on the Buccaneer 42.
And again the pattern. Oakland wide right, Spaeth in the slot to the right. Single setback is Bjorgi. Fake to Bjorgi. And calling his own number, Jason Oakland kept it for about a couple of yards gain on the play before he was hauled down at the line by the defensive end, Tom Little. Oakland carried the ball for 94 carries for 470 yards in the season coming into the game with 12 touchdowns. Now with the clock running at 8:35 left to go, Mahnomen leading Waterville Elysian 7-6. It is 3rd and 10 for the Mahnomen Indians at the Waterville Elysian 41-yard line. Twins left, flank right, motion Miller, fake, reverse, it comes off now to Jeremy Oakland, and great pursuit and penetration by that explosive Mahnomen line, and the nose guard Darren Fromm, number 76, led the way. Also in there the defensive end Trent Morris, number 61.
Well, defense is the game of quickness these days, trying to just beat the offensive players to their blocks and pursue, and these two quick teams with many players going both ways are showing how it's done, just rallying to the ball, forcing a 4th down and a punt.
Bob Bjorgi will punt from his own 38-yard line. A high spinner to Corey Knight at the 10. Knight to the 20-yard line. Stunner, 28, and that will be the end of forward progress for Corey Knight as Mogley brought him down, and with 7:36 to go, the ball changes around again, and it'll be the Waterville Elysian Buccaneers on offense. Here on the play, which we did not see at the time, the Waterville Elysian cheerleaders going crazy down there, but the ball has been spotted back at the 42-yard line. I think there was encroachment, but I'm not sure.
It's got to be bigger than that because the original line of scrimmage was about the 45. It had to be a 15-yard penalty there.
Well, now they're going to come out and have a little word about that. In fact, Ken Bauman talking to the referee about it. I've not seen, that was the only indication I saw.
It'll be some type of personal foul or clip.
That can't be it. But it had to have been a personal foul if they're going to put that much on.
Well, they want Knight to have another chance in the open field. So it'll be interesting to see if they can gain more field position. They had it on about the 27 after the original kick.
Bob Bjorgi now whoops and is scooping at the 30-yard line. Didn't get nearly the distance on this one. Knight signaled for a fair catch at the 27-yard line, and just did signal for it as the ball got to him. And now Waterville Elysian will take over at the 27-yard line. Let's go to the sidelines now, and here's J.G. Preston.
Doug, I'm told that 15-yard penalty was for blocking below the waist.
Okay.
There was a chop block on the play.
Personal foul, all right. Thank you very much. Well, that's what it was. Had to have been something fairly severe to march it back that far. Now Waterville Elysian will take over. And with the ball on its own 27-yard line, trailing by a point with 7:22 to go, it is 1st and 10 for Chris Gross, the junior quarterback. Back to the left side for Russ Borshing, and squirted free for a moment before being hauled down behind the 30. Jeremy Oakland was there to make the stop along with Bob Bjorgi, who made the first hit.
Borshing had a little hole there, but again, the pursuit. 4 or 5 white shirts close on it. He makes one good move there to get some territory, but as he tries to get outside, boy, they come after him, and it's 2nd and about 7.
Bert Leslie, number 50, tried to go low on him, and he made a great little move to get away from it. Knight to the right side, slot to the right. Gross to throw. Tip. And it is intercepted by Mark Bogley, number 58, after it was tipped by his partner in the linebacker position, Bob Bjorgi. Bjorgi tipped it, Bogley grabbed it, and the ball goes to the Mahnomen Indians.
Again, the square in pattern looking for Knight, but that was well sealed off by the linebackers. You can see the eyes of Gross following Knight along the field. But Bjorgi again with the big play to get the tip. And the team rallying to the spot. And now 37 yards separate Mahnomen from a possible state championship. They could put one over here and add a conversion. They would be 8 points ahead. Now we have just 6:42 to play.
Excuse me, Jimmy, that is the 5th pass interception on Waterville Elysian this afternoon by the very alert core from Mahnomen, as the injured player being helped over to the sidelines there, Mark Bogley. Yeah, there's been a lot of hits. We've had, how many stoppages have we had because of roughed up players here in this game? These two teams are going at it with a will here. So the game may be running a little bit long, but it's been a good one so far. And now it's Mahnomen's football on the Waterville Elysian 37. First and 10 with 6:26 to go in the game. Fumble recovered by Oakland. I'm not sure if he fully fumbled it. He kind of bobbled it. He then had nowhere to go, and he ran into the defensive end Tom Little and the tackle Troy Larson. He had it on the snap, and it looked like as he tried to propel himself, he just had trouble. He had to reach down and grab the ball. Officials will call it cut timeout. I think you heard what the reason was right there. Troy Larson has got a contact problem, apparently. Now 6:08 left to go. It is Mahnomen 7, Waterville Elysian 6.
Interesting defensive tactic as you look at the Waterville Elysian side of the field. Number 22, Chad Atherton, positions himself a good 15 yards behind the rest of the defensive team. Now, whether they're expecting a quick kick or what have you, I don't know, but he was back there on the last possession too.
Yeah, he's been there most of the night. There's a delay in the hand of Jeremy Oakland as he got through the line. And Matt Sorensen and Russ Morshing, the two linebackers, stood him down. Pat Culhane, 78, is in the lineup now at nose guard as well.
Look how deep Atherton is there, and maybe he just feels that he gets a better look at the whole field and can watch for anything coming deep before he joins his teammates in pursuit.
As I said earlier, they rostered two safeties in their lineup, but the way they've been using Atherton, Toston Taylor has come in really as an extra corner, if that were actually possible. Free safety has a new definition. Now 2nd and 7 at the 34-yard line, and they'll stack it up, and Darren Fromm, number 76, back in the game, makes the stop along with the defensive end. You see on the right of your picture Trent Morris, number 61.
Well, that was 3rd down. The scoreboard had 2nd down, but now the sideline marker says 4th and 4. And so Mahnomen,
well, one sideline marker had it correct and the other one didn't. And the one that didn't was the one closest to the press box and the TV booth and the official scorer and so on. It is 4th down.
So big play here.
Bob Bjorgi is back in deep punt formation, if you will. And he'll keep it. Bjorgi on the run. And they sniffed that one out. And Trent Morris with good pursuit along with John Riley, number 60, one of the linebackers, broke up that special play.
Really a low-risk play, though, for Mahnomen. They had the ball on the 30-yard line when they start the play. So Bjorgi doesn't get it. At least he isn't sacrificing great field position. If he does kick it, there's the possibility you're only going to gain 10 yards or so if the ball rolls into the end zone. So not a terrible tragedy for Mahnomen, especially the way their defense has been playing. But the other side of the ball, the Buccaneers now have a little breathing room, 4 minutes to do something about this 1-point lead.
From the pro set, they swing it around the other side, and Corey Knight is on the run and being pursued and driven out of bounds by Jeremy Oakland. Now that stops the clock with 3 minutes, 55 seconds to go, and all of a sudden you start looking at that clock.
Just a game of pursuit, and looked like this might be a big play right about here when Knight gets the ball. It looks like he's got some room, but watch the quick players. You can see Oakland just coming into the picture there along with the linebacker. And they double team him, get him out of bounds.
Mark Bogley, number 58, was in there too to shut down that play. Now it is 2nd and 10.
Nobody was guarding Knight. They picked it up on the audible.
Pop fly, and Celebrate at the 40-yard line. Celebrate down the right sideline. And Jeremy Oakland finally caught up with him inside the 15-yard line.
Well, that's where the confusion was. If it was Knight, they ought to automatically had Burdick with him, but it was Celebrate out there. They changed positions, brought Knight to the short side of the field. Celebrate split wide. Nobody went with him. Gross saw it, audibled right away, and just lobbed it over that defender who came up late. Celebrate takes it deep into Mahnomen Indian territory at the 15-yard line.
15 51-yard pass play for Chris Gross to Justin Selbrade, and now it's 1st and 10 at the 15. They go over the right side. Again, good penetration on Matt Sorensen, and Bob Bjorgi, number 40, made the stop. Matt Sorensen, number 38, just pulling on through on the classic fullback play on 1st down. 3 minutes, 28 seconds left to go, an official's timeout here. It is 7-6 Mahnomen, but now, after that 51-yard pass play by Chris Gross, here's the ball inside the 14-yard line to the 13, and Waterville Elysian is on the mark. Nide will go out to the right side, and Selbrade to the left. Gross set. Nide in motion left. 2nd and 8. Gross to throw. Over the screen and over the hands of Corey Nide and out of bounds.
Well, the flag is down. I don't think they're going to call either defensive holding or interference against Nide on the play.
Jason Oakland, the safety, number 11, of course, is also their quarterback, was the cover man.
It looked like a strange play. It looked like the same play we've seen a couple times where Nide comes off of the other receiver out into the flat, but he was not even looking for the ball, and Jason Oakland made a play on it. You can see his head is turned. He just starts to turn around, reaches, and they call Oakland there for the foul. And the official's going to mark it off inside the 10 now, half the distance.
Jason Oakland on the pass interference call will move it down now to the 7-yard line. It will be 1st and goal for Waterville Elysian at the 7. And oh, that clock now. 3 minutes, 9 seconds to go. 7-6 Mahnomen, and Waterville Elysian knocking on the door. Now Corey Nide goes to the left side. Selbrade slot to the left. Gross turns around, dumps it into Sorensen, and he's in for a touchdown.
Oh, they're going to mark it just short, Doc.
It's going to be just inside the 1. You're right. Travis Castee got him at the last second.
I think it's a pretty good call from what I saw. He did extend the ball in, but he had put his knee down on the ground. And of course, it doesn't do any good to extend the ball after that. Well, pretty close there. Pretty close. A great effort by Taylor. That they mark him.
Now watch this. Where are the knees?
Where is the ball when the knee touches?
The ball I thought was over the end line.
Now you can see his body came down before that, though. His shoulder was down. I don't know what all the complications of the rule. See, his shoulder goes down. The ball isn't over yet. Now it's over. So I think they made a proper call in ruling that he was down.
The ball was over the...
Matt Sorensen. Great effort, though. Let's see what Ken Bauman's saying to the defense. Well,
that's reasonable.
We've got to dominate the line of scrimmage and fill it, meaning whatever hole they're trying to create, we've got to get in there.
Well, of course, Waterville Elysian had started trying to go outside on Mahnomen with varying degrees of success. They have not used the little quick pop type of pass particularly often in this game. That might present some possibilities, but don't forget their big fullback, Matt Sorensen, and they've got some time to play with it. 2nd and goal at the 1. Right up the gut and over. It's a touchdown. Waterville Elysian will take the lead with 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the ball game.
There you see the green side of the field, and I do mean side of the field going into pandemonium. And this is a play that Waterville Elysian has been able to make. They've been able to get that yard or two push off the line of scrimmage all day. It's been the pursuit of Mahnomen's defense that has held them at bay. But Taylor goes airborne, as he did for their first touchdown, crashing in for the score. And now, of course, a 2-point conversion, because 1 point doesn't do much good. It would just give them a 6-point lead.
2 minutes and 40 seconds to go. It'll be a pass play. And it is complete to Justin Selbrade for the 2-point conversion. And oh boy, with 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go, now Waterville Elysian leads 14-7.
And of course, is Mahnomen to make 2 big plays to beat you. Not only do they have to score, but they would have to either kick that extra point to tie or get a 2-point conversion to win. Here's Chad Gross standing up and making a nice touch throw there. Oakland made his decision to try to cut the ball off short. The quarterback has to read whether the guy is playing soft enough so that you lob it deep, or whether he's going to make you try to zip it in there. And that time Gross made the right move, throwing it in front of the defender.
60,
getting the conversion.
66 yards in 7 plays. It ate up only a minute 29 on the clock, however. Keyed by that 53-yard pass play from Chris Gross to Justin Selbrey. Now with 2:40 to go and a 14-7 lead, Waterville Elysian with a little shag. And it drops out of bounds, and of course that'll bring the penalty marker at the 31-yard line.
Well, the strategy there, trying not to kick it deep to the Oakland brothers, trying to prevent that big return. But it goes out of bounds and will be a re-kick with a 5-yard penalty. And of course, Mahnomen could get good field position out of this if they elect to kick short again. Even if an up man picks it up, he'd be somewhere in the neighborhood of the 35-yard line. And there's enough operating room for Mahnomen.
A look of concentration on the face of Darrell Rainhilt. Number 73. Who will do the kicking. Dave Gleason had been doing the place kicking. Rainhilt will do this one again with 2:39 to go. Whipped it again. Picked up at the 30-yard line by Bob Bjorgi. And he's stacked up at the 45-yard line and dropped as he came across by Scott Greger. And approaching the midfield line, there's still time here from Mahnomen with 2:34 to go.
Well, Bjorgi's a tough customer. He showed some good speed getting around the corner, and then seeing he had no alternative to make yardage but to go upfield, he went right through 2 green shirts, picked up an extra 4 or 5 yards.
2 minutes and 26 seconds to go. The clock is running. Mahnomen with the ball, 1st and 10 on its own 46-yard line. And just as they went to the line, we'll have a timeout called by Mahnomen. And Ken Bauman wanted to come out and have a word. John Bakken, we might win.
Guys, how's it going?
Always wanted to do that on TV.
You got to admire his. It's just a football game. John's having a little fun down there.
2 minutes and 21 seconds is the time remaining in the clock.
Yeah, they were shifting to the other side of the field. Oh, I'm going to go to Disney World.
He's been saving those.
21 seconds from now, I'll be going to Disney World.
Now there is a child of the TV generation.
That's right. John Bakken, 2 minutes and 21 seconds away from Disney World. Look at the Waterville Elysian players trying to get their fans going. And the fans responding. The players are all trying to get those fans up and going. The green and white clad fans of Waterville Elysian's Buccaneers. And now one of the players is saying, that's enough, thank you very much. Roy Larson was saying, now you've got to be quiet because they're going to run a play. So here we go. 1st and 10, 46-yard line. Langer left, slot left. One setback possible. Motion here. Jason Oakland turns, delay. The hand will go to Jason Hendrickson, who got the call, but got only maybe a yard on the play before he was nailed by the defensive end, Trent Morris. And there is that clock inexorably ticking away for Mahnomen.
Burdick is their speed receiver. At some point, they're going to have to try to go to him.
Tight end right, Twins left. 2nd and 9, 47-yard line. Oakland, big drop back. Big pass. And it is broken up on the way out to Jeremy Oakland by Corey Nide again.
Nide, the safety man, breaks on the ball, tips it, and almost makes a great play here. He's got a beat on it, gets a hand in there, and Oakland does well, too, to play defender and keep the ball from being intercepted.
It's up for grabs there.
Nide almost with the interception. Now 2 men a good 30 yards deep was Nide and Atherton.
So they're sending their cornerbacks about as far back as you want. About 28 yards behind the line of scrimmage. The pitch back going on the left side for Jason Miller. Here he goes, 45-40 on the sideline, 30. 31-yard line. Big first down now for Mahnomen with 1:42 to go. They trail by 7.
Well, that time the Buccaneers deployed to prevent the pass. They had 2 wide receivers to the right under single coverage, and then the 2 safety men way deep. The result was the left side was left open for the quick pitch, and Miller got around that corner before any of the defensive help could get there, turned it into big yards.
43 yards on 10 carries for Jason Miller. First and 10, Mahnomen at the Waterville Elysian 31-yard line. Open the throw on first down, and it is incomplete at the 11-yard line. Intended for the tight end, Howard Spaeth.
He needed to deliver that ball just a little earlier. Spaeth had broken past the line and was a good 2 yards behind his men. And Oakland waited just a little too long before that safety help got up there.
Well, you're right. He had the coverage beat. And a step or a half second, one way or the other.
He's not going to beat it deep, but what they got to do is try to get it to someone between those safety men and the line of scrimmage.
Some great big open flat back there. It is second and 10 at the 31 for Mahnomen. Here's Gross. Oh, and just overthrown for Dean Burdick and way too high. That was the right call. It went to the right location, but it was way overthrown.
It's a hole in the middle there. They're up on the line of scrimmage are 9 defenders and then 2 guys way deep. Third and 10 with 1:36 to play.
You saw how quickly the right corner, Justin Silbraid, curled baback to react to that. Actually, they have 3 corners, if you want, in their defensive set now for Waterville Elysian. Third and 10 at the 31 for Mahnomen. Trying to get something going in Waterville Elysian territory. Pass again, the open and left. It is complete to Jeremy Oakland, who is brought down inside the 30-yard line to about the 23.
Couple of yards to go yet for the first. They may have to take this last time out because it's such a big play. We'll see. Yep. Ken Bauman signaling. No, he didn't take the timeout. He just
he was just calling out.
Yelled out to the huddle. He was only about 5 yards away from where they're grouping on the short side of the field there.
Here's
the call.
Here's the game for the Mahnomen Indians. 1:04 to go. 4th and 2 at the Waterville Elysian 23-yard line. Somebody jumped. No penalty. Up through the middle goes Bob Bjorky. Got the first down and then some into the 15-yard line.
Now Mahnomen racing.
Stop the clock, of course.
Stopping while they change the chains. Quickly up to the line of scrimmage they go. Clock starts now. 53 to go.
Oh, man. Tacklers hanging all over Bob Bjorky. Now at the Waterville Elysian 15. Mahnomen has the ball first and 10. Jason Oakland sets it down. 1 wide receiver. The pitch back goes to Jason Miller. Cuts the corner. Boom! At the 16-yard line. The head was down and the contact was made.
And that forces the last timeout to be taken for Mahnomen. Miller did not make the sideline, lost a couple of yards, and with just 32 seconds to go, they could not afford to try to line up and throw the quick incompletion.
32 seconds away from hardware for somebody. Right now, Waterville Elysian, hoping against hope it will be their team. But Mahnomen, the long tradition of excellent playoff football, is driving with just over half a minute to go. 4 set. They'll open it out for Burdick. It is intercepted at the 10-yard line by Waterville Elysian with 26 seconds to go.
That was the play they scored on.
There he is, Justin Silbraid, number 33. Oh, man, with 26 seconds left to go. Let's take a look. This is a power set, nobody in the pattern.
That's the play they scored on. And whether it was Silbraid who fell down in that coverage earlier at the end of the first half and guarding Burdick, I don't know, but Waterville Elysian, there's no doubt about what John Bakken wants.
Clock is running with 15 seconds and the referees don't see it. The clock is continuing to run.
Of course, the coach can't call the timeout. One of the players needs to do it.
Right.
But they're out of timeouts. He wanted to make sure, I'm sure he just wanted to make sure that they got it right and touched the ball down. But
well, that's it.
They knew what to do.
What you saw here, friends, was basic fundamental football today between these two teams. Blocking, tackling, pursuit, and good ball carrying. And the Class C title goes, oh man, to Waterville Elysian. And now John Bakken to go to Disney World. Ken Bauman, who brought his team in here, hoping to continue that unbeaten season, but it will not happen.
I can't believe it. One more time, they put me on the top side, I'll do it.
State champions, I can't believe it, says John Bakken, but state champions they are. 13-1, the Waterville Elysian Buccaneers 14, the Mahnomen Indians 7. That's the final score, and the Class C hardware goes to Waterville Elysian. And they had the T-shirt just in case. John Bakken, the head coach of the Waterville Elysian Buccaneers.
Well, if you can't be happy, if you can't be excited about what your team has done at this time, well, then you never will. I think it's just a great tribute to John Bakken to be himself out there and show his excitement. Only one team can win. It's an overworked phrase in these situations, but this was a great ball game that could have gone either way, and Waterville Elysian prevailed.
Now they got to clean it all up. So much for the ice bucket ritual. Now we got to clean it all up. And there they are, lining up on the sideline. Class C champion Waterville Elysian
Mahnomen
Buccaneers.
Rooter section. The Minnesota State High School League presenters will present silver medals to each team player and manager. Is directed in front of the Waterville Elysian Rooter section. The Minnesota State High School League presenters will present gold medals to each team member and manager.
Waterville Elysian's fans yucking it up. They turned the ball over 5 times on pass intersections and won the game. Wow, it is over, and the Class C title goes to Waterville Elysian. The final score, the Buccaneers 14, Mahnomen 7, and we'll be back to Prep Bowl 89.
Trophy being hoisted high by the green shirts from Waterville Elysian. The Buccaneers capture it with a dramatic come from behind 14-7 win over a game club from Mahnomen. The Most Valuable Player Award, sponsored by the American Dairy Association and the Minnesota Dairy Promotion Council, goes to an outstanding player from each of the participating schools. Player chosen from Waterville Elysian, number 33, Justin Selbraid, who got his team into position to score the winning touchdown with a 53-yard catch and run of a Chris Gross pass and intercepted a pass in the final minute to preserve the victory. He is our most valuable player from Waterville Elysian. And from Mahnomen, number 40 in the white shirt, Bob Bjorgi, the fullback and linebacker, an outstanding player on both sides of the ball today with his hitting and with his hard-nosed play. He is our Minnesota Dairy Promotion Council, American Dairy Association most valuable player of the game for Mahnomen. Coming up in moments, the Class B championship game featuring Gibbon Fairfax Winthrop, the Section 3 champions from the southwest corner of the state, as we look at Waterville Elysian again, still celebrating their team, and they'll be coming up against Perham for the Class B championship, the Yellow Jackets representing the north central portion of the state. Now let's go down to the sidelines. J.G. Preston has the winning coach, John Bakken.
Thanks very much, John. What a finish. Congratulations on your state championship.
Hey, that's what the fans want. I mean, because the fans in Waterville want it one way, the fans over Mahnomen wants it the other way, but everybody else here wants a barn burner, and we gave the fans a barn burner. I'd rather have it the other way. I'd rather have a one even-sided game, but it turned out that way, and I'll take the victory.
How long have you had that T-shirt?
Oh, about 5 minutes ago, man. My athletic director, Buzz Cummings, handed it to me right after the game. I'm on up top, ain't I?
Let's take a look back at the big play of the game, John. Corey Nye's been your money man as a receiver this year, but Justin Selbrate was the fellow who caught the big pass to set up your winning touchdown.
Well, we got this, guys. Let's see it. Is it going to come on? 3, 2, 1.
Okay, no, it's not going to go on, so don't worry about it.
Okay, I thought it was going to come.
But why Justin as opposed to Corey?
They triple covered Corey.
Get that trophy in there, too.
There we go. They triple covered Corey, and they had him mixed up on that play. Justin had a choice of 3 patterns to run. He said the fade was wide open, so he told Chris, I'm going to run the fade, and boom, he got down the sideline, got almost a touchdown. A couple plays later, toss and brought it in.
But they looked for Justin all the way on that play.
Yeah, Chris knew the guy was wide open. He saw the mistake in the defensive group there, and he said, boom, there we go.
Now look here, Justin Selbrate saved the game for you with this interception on 4th down.
Yes, I mean, there he was. I mean, Justin says, hey, he did fantastic. He's an unsigned wide receiver in our team because we got Corey Knight on one side who does a fantastic job, and Tom Little, yeah, he's got a lot lacing. Justin, they don't notice well, but Justin comes through when we have to. We got good guys all over the place there.
John, congratulations. John Bakken, coach of the Class C state champion, Waterville Elysian Buccaneers. Let's throw it back upstairs.
Class C championship goes to Waterville Elysian. Congratulations to them. Coming up in moments, the Class B championship. And you see the matchup that will follow shortly. We'll be back to Prep Bowl 8 in just a moment.